Hello everybody, welcome to Urban Empire. Prickly Pete here. I'm just going to kind of walk you through a little bit of this game. Got mixed reviews on Steam, however I actually really enjoy the game. It's very political, gets you into the more of in-depth when it comes to politics, but it's also a really good town builder as well. So less on the construction side, but more on the making decisions, getting council to vote your way, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of fun. It's just came out, I think, on the 23rd or something like that. I think it was Friday of last week. So anyways, just check it out. Right off the bat, if you start with the campaign mode, we have 4 different families you can choose from. So they all have different political views. Obviously, choose whichever one works best for you, depending on what you or how you would like to run the city. So first, I don't know how to pronounce the name properly, so I'm not going to try. But these, basically, if you read the very last line there, they're traditionalists. They believe in social hierarchy and the people's needs for stability in a changing world. So they're very conservative. If we switch to the next one here, Saint Elijah, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So again, if we read the last line here, notorious risk takers, both in their personal and professional lives, they often seem aloof and alienated from gritty reality and the needs of the people. So more of like a loner, but they're very high on technology. So, like I said, just depends on what you're looking for. So far, these ones have been my favorites. So it's a strong working class. They're respected as heroes. Their dedication has made the family very popular with the... I don't know that word, sorry, I'm not going to bother trying. Their contributions to society are much appreciated, but the benevolence tends to lead to increasing building prices. So you pay a little bit more to build stuff. However, people generally like you to begin with, which is nice. So last here, so looks like kind of like Russian descent, and dabbling in politics, relatively new to them, so they don't have much experience in politics, but they have no particular experience in that field, but sometimes disruptive forces come from surprising sources. So basically just saying that it's kind of the unknown, but sometimes really good results can come from the unknown. So I'm just going to switch to this one. Like I said, this is my favorite one so far. So I'm going to select. Now this is the era that you can start in. As of right now, I haven't seen that you can start in any other era. I don't know if this is going to change in the future, or maybe it's just that I haven't unlocked that yet. I'm not too sure. So obviously we have nothing else to select but that. As for the location, I have only done this location so far, so this time I'd like to switch. So I think I'm going to try this one, the Cape Swarlia, and we'll give it a shot here. So if you like city builders, this is a good game. But like I said, there's a little bit less on the construction side. Most of it is more of a kind of a tycoon style, where you have to keep your budget in check, and as well you want your city to grow, but you also need to have all your votes passed by council. So it's not just a situation where one person gets to make all the decisions. So you can actually blackmail people to try and sway their vote to your way, and there's all types of different stuff you can do. You can pay out of your own pocket to get things done rather than having to go through the city. There's lots of different options, and I'm sure they're just going to add more as this game progresses. I don't believe it's early access. I think the game is fully released. However, hopefully they just add a little bit more content. It's kind of lacking on the content, but like I said, it's a lot of fun. Alright, so let's just start here. So your name is Connor Kilgannon, son of famous Patrick Kilgannon, who supervised the construction of Grand Canal of Dublin with a record low death toll. The Emperor of Austria wants to build a new city to connect Vienna to Adriatic Ocean and invited your father to manage the construction. Being old and ill, your father has sent his right-hand man, you, instead. You are granted 500,000 thrallers to set the foundations of a new city. So you can change the name here of the city. I'm just going to leave it, and we can just get started here. Okay, so looks like nice flat land over here. So what we do first is you're going to want to create a district. I'm just going to start with a dense district. You can change different ones here, so sparse, dense, and default. And let's start it over here. And we'll kind of go like that. It will adjust along the roads like this. It automatically places the roads in between here as well. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because the funds down here was over 300,000. So just to start with, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. There we go. And we confirm. So now here we can choose where we want the city hall. Obviously this will cost more money, 25,000 and 5,500 a month. So I'll just put that, you know, I'll put it along the main road here as it is our city hall. There we go, and we can confirm. Now what you can do here is you can change the zoning so that you could choose how much residential, how much business, how much industrial, and that's to do with up here for the demand. So right now we have no residential demand. Well, there's nobody living here, so regardless we do want residential. Commercial and industrial are through the roof because we don't have anything right now. So to be honest with you, I just leave it for the default for the very first district, and I might modify the other ones as I go. So we're just going to propose this. And so what we can do here is use our own personal funds. So we have 500,000, which is what our dad gave us, and this is the city funds, which is 1 million. So we're going to use our own personal funds, so it's going to cost 264,000, and this is going to build this district. That way there's no voting or anything. You just throw your own money at it, and they build it. And here we go. So that's all started. Can start the game, let it start building. I don't think we have any institutions, no. Okay, so let's go to city council here. So this is our city council. Basically you do all your votes here. You can also do edicts. So if we click on available ones, I don't think there are any yet. No, so we got to get a little bit further into the game. You can change all your taxes here, propose tax changes. Again, this leads to a vote, so you have to hope that everyone's on your side. Otherwise, if you don't win the vote, then it's not going to change. And these are all the political parties. So here's this one, and basically you can use goodwill to sway their vote to whichever way you want it to go. So progress cloud, these are the technologies basically that your town can do, and that way it will improve everything that it says here. So it gives you the edicts to be able to vote on alcohol licensing, tobacco licensing, and then it gives you safety authorities, clinics, the Work Safety Act, which is another edict you can vote on, and ban prostitution. Personally, it doesn't matter which one you go to. These ones offer more of a business aspect, so you just pick whichever one works best for you. I'm going to start with the safety authorities, and it's going to cost 400 brain power. Which is accumulated over time, and 58 months to do the research. So we're going to start that, and let's go back to our city view and watch our town build. So some of this, you know, is just like your generic city builder. So we're just going to let this build by itself. And watch the months pass by, and as you can see, this stuff is starting to change. So now we need a residential demand of 3 and a business demand of -3. So obviously we have too many businesses right now and not enough people. and the industry demand of 3, so manufacturing of things. So let's go to City Council, see if we have any edicts yet we can vote on. Nothing yet. Okay. At any point, you can also modify your district. And if you modify your district, basically what that allows you to do is it allows you to change the zoning. So if you want more residential, less business, more industrial, however you want that to change. As you see right now, it says my industrial demand is very high. And as well, what you can do is you can add different buildings. So if all of a sudden the clinic that we're researching here becomes available, I can add that in, obviously at a cost, but you can modify it, and it does have to go to a vote, so City Council does have to vote and approve that change. What you can do as well, it costs about 10,000, but you can promote any businesses. So if you find a business is failing and you don't want it to fail, you can actually promote it. So you're putting town money or the city's money into that business to help promote it and hopefully make it succeed. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. So here's our first thing that we can vote on, the safety authorities, which is what we're researching right now. So if we click on that, basically it just says here, the administration is preparing for the establishment of professional safety authorities. What do you want them to focus on? So we can get them to focus on the police force, the fire department, or the clinic. At this point in time, there's not a lot of people in town, so I'm not too worried about the police force, not too worried about the fire department, but health is a big thing, so I'm actually going to go with clinic. And this is the changes because I did that. So we get a +1 bonus to health, and the change of monthly city fund expenses, so negative 25% in the city fund. And we hit OK. And we're just going to speed this up a little bit just for the sake of the video. So they're still in very high demand for industry. So at some point soon we'll build another district and we'll kind of tweak it a little bit to give us a little bit more industry. Okay, so let's create our second district here. The main thing obviously is you don't want to run out of funds. The very first game I played, I ran out of funds pretty quickly, and it ended up I ended up being in the negative for quite a while. So this is the other thing that I actually forgot to do, is you can do schools. So obviously if you want to have an educated population, so school is a good thing, and it works in zones, so it covers all the land that obviously shows up. So we're going to try and get it so it covers most of the people's houses, which is probably about here. And oh, it's not going to let me put it. There we go. So we'll put that down, confirm. So it's going to cost 355,000. As for the zones, it didn't let me change it. But 30% industry is pretty good because the demand is high for that right now. And we're going to propose it. So this is the vote. So I don't have enough money to personally build it out of my own pocket. So it's going to go to the vote to use the the city's money. So what's going to happen is it's going to cost 41,000 a month, which we're only making 1,400 a month right now. So it's actually going to hit us pretty hard from the start. What I'm hoping to do is raise taxes, and as people move in and businesses grow, we should be able to recoup that money, I'm hoping. We'll see, because we should still have about 500,000 left in the city funds. So we'll see what happens. As for the vote here, this shows that, this shows that 17 of our cabinet members or city council members are going to vote the way to approve this this district. So 42 are kind of in the middle, which are these guys right here. But they are leaning towards approving, so it should be pretty simple to get them to vote yes. And 2 are saying no. You don't even see them on here because it's such a low number. So we're just going to do normal vote, and we're going to hit OK. This band around here will show you how long until the vote is basically ready to be voted on. So you can check on that at any point. Invitation to party convention. Let's click on that. And the Psychocratic Party appreciates you so much that you're invited to give a speech in the party's convention. So these will give you different stats to your character. We're going to agree. And it basically just gives us a bonus of 2 to this party. And we're going to click OK. Let's check on the vote and see. So obviously it is heavily weighted to our side. 23 to 3, and these guys here are kind of in the middle, but they're clearly leaning towards our direction. So we'll just let that go. And we're almost done with this research right here. Should be, I think, just another month here.
Safety.
There we go. So that is done. So this is everything that is now going to be available. And we're going to hit our progress cloud and pick something else. Let's go with thermodynamics. That will give us access to train, which obviously will bring more people to our city. So let's click on that. Okay, so this business right here is failing. That's what that red icon was. I'm going to spend 10,000. I'm going to promote it. Obviously, the better that does for us, the more money we're going to be able to recoup from building this. So it is now time to vote. I don't even need to sway anyone's vote because clearly we're going to win. So let's just begin voting, and it's going to count the numbers here. And there we go, 52 to 9, clear win, not an issue there. So we're going to exit. Trouble with the Conservatives. Let's see what the Conservatives want. So the Free Democratic Party dislike the Conservatives because they are standing in the way of reforms that Free Democratic Party thinks are necessary. What do you do? So again, these all will give you traits to your characters, I think. No, maybe these ones don't. Okay. So really it just depends on what you want to do, what you want to do for your character. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to be the nice guy, and I'm just going to try and help them find some common ground. Okay, so it gives us a +1 vote to the Free Democratic Party, or I shouldn't say +1 vote, but relationship is +1. So they'll like us a little bit more. And we'll click OK. So this is starting to build now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the City Council. I am going to click on taxing, and I'm going to try and raise the taxes a little bit. So we'll move this up to 12%, and we'll propose that tax increase. Everyone pretty much is approving it, so I don't think I'll have an issue with that. Let's go back. Actually, you know what? We should have some available to us now. Yes, we do. So, safety authorities. Medical sector is wide-ranging and specialized, covering everything from hospitals to general practitioners. Alternative therapists to medical research. It relies heavily on licensing and government-mandated and approved education. Currently, no one body oversees all medical services. The creation of an executive authority for testing and approval of all health fields would enable simple, effective vetting and regulation in the medical sector. So these will give us 2 to bonus to health and would change our middle class +3. So I'm going to propose this. And here you can see who's going to be for it and who's going to be against it. So if we view proposal here, oh whoops, that shows us the same thing as before. We're going to hit OK. And Work Safety Act. So introduction of basic safety regulations into workplaces guarantees a reduction of lost limbs. So healthy citizens are good citizens, so +1 there. Sales demand, so up sales. Same thing and same thing. So we're going to propose that. It should be pretty clear cut. Again, the Free Democratic Party is against it. Not really sure why. We're going to hit OK. And we're just going to wait on these. We'll wait a little bit. The longer you wait to do anything about these, the harder it is to sway someone's vote. So just keep that in mind. Basically means the longer you set this, or let the bar almost complete, the more they're going to be set in their ways and harder to change their minds. So we're going to just try and sway their vote a little bit. So really close, 11 to 8. It costs you 2 will at a time, or goodwill, sorry, at a time to be able to use any of these options. So you can threat the party, you can demand the party, or you can plead with the party. So it really just depends on what type of character you want to do and what kind of result you would like. So I'm just going to plead with them, and I'm going to express my wish in council meeting, and see that will sway them a little bit. So, and these guys here that are hardcore against us, we're going to do the same thing. Voice your opinion in city council, or what we could do is issue, speak about it in public and hope that that would make them change their minds a little bit more. So let's give that one a shot and see what happens here. Yeah, so not really. It didn't help us much. So we're going to hold off on that one. Check on the taxes. Taxes are going to be an easy win, so I'm not going to bother wasting anything on that. And Work Safety Act. Looks like it's going to be the same as the other one. Again, I'm just going to spend my goodwill here and hope that we can sway their vote a little bit. There we go, and we will wait and check again once this has been maybe past about mid. And we'll see what happens here. Now this is starting to build, so we're getting a little bit more money back. Hopefully that changes to positive soon. Let's find out. Okay, so this is just changing here. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. And just talking about industry changes. So let's get out of that. Again, modify taxes. I'm going to win that, so I'm not too worried about it. And Safety Authority. See, now the Safety Authority has really turned my way. So it seemed at the time that it didn't really do much when I did my voting to try and sway their opinions, but now it has really actually made a big difference. So I'm not going to need to waste any more goodwill on this. And let's switch to the Work Safety Act. Pretty much the same thing. So again, I'm not going to bother wasting any more. So let's just go back to the city view and wait. So a lot of this game is kind of like that. You make decisions, you wait to see if you can sway their vote, and we sit until it's done. Until the voting process starts. And there we go. So modify taxes. This one's going to be a clear win, so we'll let it go. And there we go. That was easy. Raised up the residential tax by 2%. So that'll give us, I think it's at about $2,000 a month extra. And Safety Authorities, again, it's going to be an easy win. There we go. And last but not least, the Work Safety Act. Again, an easy win. So if you try and change their minds early on, you'll have better success than waiting till the end. But what I do find sometimes is you try at the very start, and then you can try again maybe after about, halfway to the completed circular voting process, and you can try and sway their vote again, which does work. Okay, so everything passed, everyone's happy. The taxes went up a little bit. This will help us here. We don't have much money left, as you can tell, so we're just going to hope that we can hold on. We're going to go into the deficit a little bit, but we should be able to regain that once all this land is taken up by businesses and residential. These here for promoting business, again, it costs $10,000. We don't have a lot of money right now, so I'm not going to bother spending it on that, but once we get some more money, then I'll start looking into doing that. And let's see what other edicts we can kind of look at here. So, alcohol licensing. So, alcohol has a long reputation of being potentially dangerous, and its sale and distribution is carefully monitored. The legal drinking age is long established. To ensure safe and responsible drinking, pubs, hotels, cafes, and other venues selling alcohol must know and comply with all alcohol sales services, laws, and regulations. So this will generate us a little bit of money. As you can see here, added income to city funds. It's not much, but it will help. And sales demand, so this will increase the demand of sales for alcohol. So we're going to propose this. As you can see, some are for it, some are against, but it'll bring in a little bit of money. Tobacco licensing, probably the same thing. However, I'm not going to do it right now because I only have a little bit of goodwill left after my last vote, which does regain over time. So I'm going to just do one at a time, and that way I'm not going to waste it all on, let's say, alcohol licensing and then not have enough for the tobacco, which could end in bad results. So here, thermodynamics, your city administration needs to make a decision about the inferior of the forthcoming railway station. So we can build a railway station. It costs a lot of money. I think it's 2 million. So we probably won't be able to build it for quite some time, but it is helpful to build in the future. Let's do Imperial. So this brings our vote up with the with this party, sorry. And let's take a look at this. It's not too bad. I only have 2 goodwill with these guys right here. I'm not going to bother wasting any right now. We should be able to win it without it. And economic crisis. So this is because we're in the deficit. So right now we're minus 80,000. Obviously our monthly income has increased considerably, as it was, I think, minus 40,000 at one point. So as these houses are building, this is becoming better. But let's take a look here. The economic situation of, this is the name of our town, is worrying. If you don't do something, your career as mayor may be cut short. So let's pay a visit to Vienna and ask for money, and see what happens. So you got an audience with the emperor and convinced him to grant that town more funding. However, he rebuked you for not looking after the budget. So he's kind of mad at you. You know, he's not too happy that you had to go for him for money, but he gave us 2.5 million. So that's going to be more than enough for right now. So let's leave that. Let's wait a little bit, and then we'll check back on the alcohol licensing. There we go. And again, it looks like it's going to be a pretty clear-cut victory, so I'm not going to bother spending any more money on that. Now that we do have some more money, we can help promote businesses, so if I see any, then we can do that. Oh, and we're ready to vote. So we'll begin voting. I'm not going to bother spending any more goodwill, as this should win. And it does. So that'll get us some more money as well. And as you can see here, we're almost in the plus. And there we go. So now we are in the plus, and we have lots of money to spend. We don't have the railway station yet, as this is almost finished. So we'll probably look into building another district as well. We don't have any industry demand, but we do have a little bit of residential and a little bit of commercial. So we'll probably do that as well. We'll probably build our clinic. So if I go here, I can actually modify it and add a clinic in, which we'll probably do. Proposed that children under 10 may not likely be hired for certain jobs. I'm definitely going to support that. I mean, children under 10 shouldn't really have to work. And there we go. Okay, so this is going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, I'm probably going to modify this district here and add in a clinic. Otherwise, I'll probably just build a new district up here and add a clinic in that way. as we do have lots of money now, and we are in the plus. We should be able to generate more money by taxes, and as well help our local citizens with healthcare, as we can build a clinic that will support them that way. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out Urban Empire. It's an awesome game. It's a lot of fun. So if you're into this sort of thing, definitely check it out on Steam. Like I said, it's got mixed reviews, but I find it really interesting. I find it a lot of fun. Just hopefully they add content in the future. But that's going to be it. So have a good night, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.